Okay, well, good afternoon and welcome to our Stage 5 Information Afternoon. I will be able to check the temperature in the room according to how many layers are shed, because the upstairs mezzanine level gets very, very warm, and sometimes down here gets very, very cold as that gets very, very warm. So if you suddenly start to look like you're overheating, I might get you to all swap around, but hopefully not, and we'll be able to maintain the temperature here. It's lovely to have you here in person. The last 2 years we've conducted this evening via Zoom, and it's not quite the same. Having said that, welcome to those families that are joining us via the Zoom, and it's great that we still are able to have this hybrid model of delivery to ensure that people join us for evenings like this, where we're presenting information about what is available to our girls in particular and to families at PLC Armidale. And girls, it's great to see you here this afternoon as well. I trust that you will enjoy the presentations this evening about the various subjects, and particularly the elective choices available to you at PLC Armidale. And girls, next week you will also have the opportunity of speaking to some of the current students in Stage 5 about how they have found the electives that they've chosen and give you some tips to consider as you're making your choice as well. So this is an outline of our program for this evening. I won't speak to each of those points in detail, and different members of the executive will join with me in presenting the first section. When we come to the Q&A, there'll be three main ways of presenting your questions. There will be an opportunity at the end of the formal presentation for you to ask questions from the floor, and there'll be a mic that we'll bring up for those that are sitting upstairs. Those that are joining us via the Zoom room, could you please use the chat function in the Zoom and record your questions there, and we will direct them to the most appropriate person to respond to them. And then, of course, the staff that have joined us this evening that are at their respective tables representing their areas of interest and subject areas and specialisations, they are welcoming of your questions, so you will have an opportunity of speaking with them as well. I would like to thank our Head of Senior School, Mr Clendinning, for his organisation of this evening, supported by our Director of Studies, Mrs Kate Clinch, and also Miss Julie Flanagan, our Head of Humanities. Mr Jonathan Schumack, I think, is still an apology for this evening. He has accompanied our Science and Engineering Stage 5 Challenge State finalists, as they have represented not just PLC Armidale, but represented the region in Newcastle over the last day or so in that challenge, and of course the teachers from each of the subjects as well. Well, girls, you've come to an exciting part of your progression through the senior school. You have this year you will complete Stage 4, the first 2 years of our secondary experience. You will also then move into Stage 5, and that will be the first time that NESA, our state education regulator, will reduce the number of subjects that you must study and allow you to choose. Now, not all schools run electives. NESA does not require schools to offer electives to students. We think it is wise to offer electives because that's how you get to taste and see the things that you might like to continue to study through into years 11 and 12. And that is why at PLC Armidale, the way we have structured our Stage 5 electives, we give you 3 choices, and each of those choices branches up into other subjects in years 11 and 12. You do not have to carry a full elective for the 2 years. You may choose to recast your electives after year 9, but we find that most girls stay with their electives for both year 9 and year 10, and the way that the program has been structured by the teachers is to actually give you a taste and then a deeper understanding of your electives leading into the Stage 6 choice as well. Your ROSA journey will begin next year also. ROSA is, again, an area or an accomplishment that our education regulator has developed, the record of school achievement, and year 9 is a bit of a taste test for the record of school achievement. It gives you the opportunity in your mandatory core subjects for completing different types of assessments and style of learning that in Year 10 will be formally assessed at a school level, and those grades from Year 10 on form part of your portfolio for those record of school achievement years, Years 10, 11 and right through into Year 12. Girls, the good news is that schooling is compulsory until you are 17. The even better news is that at PLC Armidale we have 99.99 success rate of students beyond 17 staying to finish their HSC. So we look at learning and supporting you not just for 1 year at a time, but for successive years right through to the completion of your HSC. And as you can see on this little journey, you will be our class of 2026. So when you are PLC Armidale Old Girls, you will be affectionately known as the class of 26. And whether you began your journey with us in pre-K or whether you began in Year 7, PLC Armidale is unapologetically all about learning and all different types of learning. This graphic, and I don't expect that you can read it from where you are, but it is a description of what learning or the learning journey looks like at PLC Armidale. And our target in the middle is that for each year, girls, you are studying, and each year your parents are investing in your education, there is a year of growth and development in you as a learner. And that will be at different rates and stages, but it is a year of growth for a year of input is our target. This learning journey is not part of the NESA curriculum, so it doesn't actually outline what you will be taught or when you will be taught it or who will teach it. Rather, it's mapping the skills and knowledge and understanding that you will acquire from early childhood right through to young adulthood as well. So you've come through early stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and now you are in stage 4. In stage 4, our focus has 3 parts: creating learning objects. Through the different classes that you're studying, you've been taught ways of demonstrating, of how to demonstrate what you have learned, perhaps using technology, perhaps assembling and making things, perhaps conducting experiments, perhaps having to present orally your understanding. But you have a greater responsibility in stage 4 of demonstrating what you are able to do, what you know, and what you understand. You've also learned an increasing repertoire of research tools and skills for that. Note-taking, note-making, managing your time, interpreting a timetable, even having a study plan. And you're also learning to manage change. Stage 4 is often the start of a period of change that happens for girls through stage 4 and into stage 5, changing teachers, changing rooms, changing timetables, and then physical changes as you're growing and developing. Your interests might change, and along the way in stage 5, some of your friendships may change as well. Where we're heading in stage 5 is there'll be a greater focus on problem solving, both through the core classes such as science and technology, but also through electives that you do as well. And in each of those areas, it's looking at what is the problem you're trying to solve, what are the variables you need to take into account, what's the action plan now and next, and then how do you respond to find the best solution to that problem. And programs such as our Science and Engineering Challenge is a demonstration, as would be any team activity that PLC Armidale girls are involved in, of how you can work through and solve those problems, especially when you work collaboratively and with each other. Stage 5 is also when you will start learning a lot more about yourself as a learner. Years 9 and 10 are often the years where girls who might have said, I was no good at that, or gee, I was dumb, or I really didn't understand. Stage 5, years 9 and 10 is often when girls think, actually, I'm not so bad at that. actually my grades are starting to improve, or I'm developing very definite interests in particular types of learning and subject areas. And that matches, again, just part of your growth and maturity, but it's also a fabulous segue into stage 6. So as a learner in stage 5, you can expect to really develop a broader set of skills and capabilities. You will have a clearer sense of your strengths and interests. You will understand greater your capabilities, and that all comes at just the right time to start thinking more critically about yourself, and I don't mean being harsh in criticism. I'm being able to evaluate and bring together lots of different variables to form a good view of yourself and a good view of yourself as a learner and in your learning as well. And in stage 5, through the experiences that are provided both in the classroom and outside of the classroom, because our co-curricular program is a really important part of the learning journey at PLC Armidale as well, you will be well prepared for heading into stage 6, that final stage of learning here. Focus on project management, understanding choice and consequence in a real way, and the HSC focus very explicitly. We're going to move on now, and I'd like to invite Mr. Clendenning to come and speak to us about the support that's available to you girls at PLC Armidale. Thanks, Mr. Clendenning.
Thank you, Mrs. Taylor, and good evening, parents and girls and staff. Tonight, I would just like to briefly talk about what the college has put in place so that your daughter finds her feet and thrives as she enters Year 9. In Stage 5, there are a number of important and practical ways the college seeks to support your child on their learning journey. Foremostly, academic support is facilitated by experienced and specialist teachers on Stage 5 courses who teach the skills, knowledge, and the thinking dispositions the students need to be well prepared for their Stage 6 courses later down the track. Fundamental to the way that the teachers teach here at PLC Armidale are the principles of student engagement and differentiation, which means that we program and design tailored learning experiences that enable all students to succeed at learning. It's not just about teaching to one cohort or one set of abilities. It's making sure that every student has an experience that is rich and meaningful so that they can reach their full potential. Hopefully you can think back to a teacher when you were at school that encouraged you, believed in you, and were passionate about their subject area, and that's what every teacher aspires to be at PLC. Guild support is about providing opportunities and experiences for the girls to develop positive relationships across the year groups beyond the classroom. This is facilitated with our Wellbeing Wednesday activities, guild drama, guild song battles, lip syncs, sister guild challenges, and extending morning teas on a Monday. The girls actually find these experiences pivotal in developing the sisterhood of the college and branching out beyond their immediate friendship groups. It's also a place where girls can develop their leadership skills. We take a multifaceted approach to pastoral care at PLC that is proactive and reactive according to the issues and concerns that girls in years 9 and 10 are experiencing within and outside of school. Mrs. Jo Weisel is the Senior School's Pastoral Care Program Specialist, and we work closely together with the school psychologist, the college chaplain, and the pastoral care staff attached to each year group to ensure that we are engaging with the issues that are relevant, that are ever evolving, especially for girls. This is in the form of our weekly programs, our workshops, and activities that seek to build a sense of belonging and confidence. Pastoral care also extends into academic care as we work with each individual girl on her academic goals and spend time looking at study skills and examination preparation. And can I just say, while I've got the opportunity, that Year 8 have done an amazing job in developing their dance and leading the senior school with that choreography, so make sure you ask your daughter to teach it to you at some stage. What does career support look like? Well, in stage 5, it looks like attending careers expos, connecting with visitors that come in with the specialist subjects and the electives to talk about what they're doing in that area. We do some career profiling in Year 10, and that's facilitated by Miss Amy Chu to really expose the girls to a range of options that they might not have ever considered before. What makes the learning environment special at PLC Armidale? Well, certainly it's the students. Having moved to Armidale after teaching in co-educational independent schools in Orange and in Sydney, I could not believe in the level of engagement and focus when I started here last year. Truly, I was astounded by it. The girls here want to learn, and it's not something we should ever take for granted. I think our smaller class sizes, our lessons that are focused on thinking and understanding, especially through Harvard's visible thinking routines, and our ongoing feedback cycle are all elements that contribute to the consistent academic success for girls across the range, and we've seen that in the New England region. My next slide seeks to just capture some of those key points that I mentioned about pastoral care. We know that our students' well-being is important in itself. As parents, it's something we can find ourselves worrying about the most in our children. But we also know that good mental health leads to better outcomes academically and socially. It frees up the mind to focus on learning, and that's why we think it's worth the investment. I'm now going to hand over to Mrs. Kate Clinch, who's going to explain the Stage 5 course structure.
Good evening, everyone. It's my job tonight to give you a brief overview of Stage 5 and the way that it all kind of fits together. So, looking at the slides here, our mandatory courses are those that all students in New South Wales must complete in Years 9 and 10. They're also courses that students will receive a Rosa grade for at the end of Year 10 on their record of student achievement. So here at PLC Armidale, we also have Christian Studies as one of our mandatory courses for our Stage 5 students, building on the learning that's taken place in both the junior school and in Stage 4. And we offer 2 different types of elective subjects, giving our students a really wide choice and lots of different opportunities. So Group A courses are NESA board-developed courses that follow a prescribed NESA syllabus and will be included on that record of the student achievement. Group B courses are school-developed courses and are courses that we've developed here at PLC to meet the needs and interests of our very own student body. So I'll talk a little bit more about each of those. So our mandatory courses, these are going to feel quite familiar, I think, to you Year 8 at this stage. We have English, History, Geography, Mathematics, Science and PDHPE, all subjects that you've been studying while you've been in Stage 4. What is a little bit different though is the way that maths is structured in Stage 5. There's a number of different streams in Stage 5 maths, and students need to seek advice from their current maths teacher about the stream that's the most suitable for them. Maths 5.2, 5.3b and 5.3a all offer different kinds of pathways in mathematics. And the course that you're hoping to study in Stage 6 mathematics is also considered when we place students into the correct stream for maths. And our wonderful maths teachers are here this evening and can elucidate this further for you at our stalls at the end of this presentation. So please do come down and talk to them. So, our Group A courses. So these Group A courses are the board-developed courses that have a full NESA syllabus. So these courses are Agriculture, Commerce, Dance, Design and Technology, Drama, Food Technology, Languages, Music, Physical Activity and Sport Studies, also known as PASS, and Visual Arts. These slides show some of the possible ways that these courses are related to Stage 6 courses and some of the possible pathways to get there. It is quite important to note, though, at this point, that there are no prerequisites for Stage 5 study for most Stage 6 courses. The only real exception for this is for language continuous courses, where you need to have studied a course in Stage 5 to be eligible for the continuous course. But you can always pick up a beginner's course in Stage 6 with absolutely no prior languages study. So all of these different Group 8 courses are both fun and academically rigorous and develop skills in a really wide variety of areas, all of which are very useful for some further study. And our Group B courses. So these are the courses that are developed here at PLC in response to what our students have told us they would like to study. So these are still academically rigorous courses with teaching and learning and assessment, but they're not reported on the record of school achievement. So these courses are designed to allow students to develop a depth of interest in a range of different kind of areas and to allow them to explore some areas that possibly they have never studied before. So they're also courses that provide an excellent basis for a range of different Stage 6 courses. So our Group B courses are Creative and Critical Composers, Psychology and Planet Earth. We also offer something quite interesting here called an Independent Study Elective. Now, to qualify for this, students must be undertaking some kind of accelerated program of study or be involved in a combination of representative sport or music within the college, along with sport or music external to the college, or some other activity at an elite or representative level. So this is an elective that can be accessed via a formal application, and it's assessed on a case-by-case basis. So if you are interested in this independent study elective, please come and speak to me at the end of the presentation and I can give you some more information. So that's the nitty-gritty about how Stage 5 kind of all fits together. What I'd like to show you now is a short video from some of our fabulous teachers, some of these people that are sitting in the room down here, telling you what it is they love about their subjects.
The study of agricultural technology, or ag as we tend to call it, provides students with these opportunities to really experience agricultural life through direct contact with plants and animals. You can look at different technologies and agricultural technologies, and ultimately it is the original STEM subject. So if you're really interested in science, technology, maths and engineering, this is the subject for you, because it's the practical application of all of them.
I love teaching this subject. I love that it offers so much diversity and creativity in the one subject. From fashion design to interior design to architecture design, the students can choose an area of interest, or a focus area as we call it, that suits their passion and follow a journey through in making a product.
I believe drama is the best subject in the world. It completely empowers us to understand our human condition. It helps us to create considered opinions about our world and responses to our world. In our world, which is so soaked in technology now, where we have forgotten how to look at each other, drama in it gives us those skills back. It helps us to communicate and to give eye contact and to be able to give impromptu speeches if you have to. For those meetings that you will have in boardrooms growing up, being able to speak on your feet, we give those skills in drama in Year 9 and 10.
Food technology, it's an elective offered to students doing Stage 5, which is a practical based. It does have some theory, but it's a very practical based, and that's looking at skills in cooking and serving food and food preparation. It also gives the opportunity for students to think of their career options later on in life, because it leads on to doing hospitality if they decide to do it in Stage 6. And they get the opportunity to cook foods from different cuisines, which is a variety of from different cultural background, and they explore more food and also they look at it from a nutritional perspective.
I think that the study of languages can be a really fun and rewarding addition to your elective program, especially if you've ever thought about travelling or maybe even doing an exchange. So through learning languages, you can engage in real-world communication and reflect on the really big ideas surrounding heritage and culture and identity. I also think that the study of languages strengthens literacy in your first language and supports participation in the global community, not just our own little bubble here at PLC. So I think the study of languages can really enrich what you do as a student and broaden your horizons infinitely.
So Music at PLC provides lots of opportunities for girls to develop their music in all sorts of different ways. One of the specialties that we really take pride in at PLC is that we're able to support high-level musicians to really embark on a very, very specialised program of study. And many of these students actually go on to study music at a professional level outside of school. We're able to support these girls through the provision of highly specialised programs through the chamber music programs with our string quartet, and through highly specialised tuition in composition, performance and musicology.
The subject I teach for an elective is called Critical and Creative Composers, and it allows students who are passionate about English to explore options outside the mainstream English course, and develops, as the name suggests, both creative and critical skills. So if you are interested in English and passionate about creativity, it's a really great course to allow you to expand your horizons.
Visual arts provides many opportunities for students. In visual arts we look at all sorts of things from lots of different points of view. So we do a lot of art making where we actually explore a whole lot of different art materials. We do painting, drawing, sculpture, ceramics, and the students get to explore the world around them and represent it in visual form. It's really good for practicing their observation skills, and that has lots of positive outcomes for students. So they get by sustained drawing practice, they get to practice those skills, and it helps their memory, it helps their mental health, and it's just a really enjoyable thing to do, and it's a good springboard then for other creative activities.
Do you ever wonder about human behaviour? What makes you tick? What makes other people tick? The way that the brain works? Then psychology could be the subject for you. We study a range of interesting topics in psychology, from criminal psychology, social psychology and conformity. We look at different research methods and the experiments that are going on out there, theories of personality. All these topics are really interesting to engage with, they're fun, they change the way that you think about yourself and others and the world. So I encourage you to look into psychology as a subject choice for you in Stage 5.
PASS at PLC Armidale has 3 main modules. The first one is physical activity, where we explore fitness and the components of fitness, and we unpack the different systems. It then looks at the second module, which is about sport and society, where we can look down career pathways and opportunities, as well as the sporting identity of Australia. And the third module that we look at is to do with enhancing performance. So that's the performance of athletes and how to make the most out of your fitness journey.
So PASS provides a wonderful stepping stone for any girls that might like to choose PDHPE as a Stage 6 course in Year 11 and 12. So through the PASS unit we explore a lot of language and terminology and concepts that we explore later on in that Stage 6 course.
So dance in Stage 5 is a great subject to be studying. We combine 3 kind of aspects of dance. So as a whole, dance in Stage 5 and in Stage 6 indeed is more of a contemporary focus. So we look at dance as a medium or a platform to communicate intent and ideas through dance. So it's not just dance for physical fun, though that is what we do as well, but we learn the things about dance that enable us to understand how we can communicate meaning through movement. So there are 3 kind of branches or strands of the syllabus that we look at in Stage 5. There's performance, composition and appreciation. There certainly is a practical component about skills and dance, but there's also the learning how to choreograph, learning how to write about dance. It's really rewarding, it's lots of fun, and I definitely would suggest that you consider choosing it for Stage 5.
So commerce in Stage 5 covers diverse areas of business, economics, investment, legal studies, and then also pushing towards independence so that your girls can actually become active members of the society. We look at commerce as the transaction or interaction between people, and this is a great way for the girls to understand how to apply for a job, get a job, and move out of home in some cases. We also teach them digital safety and looking at awareness of scams, how we can actually respond to them, how we can interact with them, who to talk to, and make them digitally safe and legally safe in the community.
To be honest, when I was choosing my electives, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I left school. So I chose based on what I was interested in, and I think that really helped me because now I'm seeing career paths that I would be interested in based on these subjects, which I've really found helpful. So I would recommend that you choose subjects that you like.
In Pastoral Care, it definitely helped, and especially knowing that you have teachers there all the time that you can go and talk to if you don't, like if you can't talk to your friends or your parents or anything about, there's always the teachers there, and you know that they're not going to judge you and they're just going to try and help you, and they'll point you in the right direction to know what you're going to do.
interview Year 8? How on earth do you make a decision about what it is that you would like to study? So there's a couple of things you need to think about. You need to think about the things that you're interested in. You need to consider any passions that you have, things that you would like to pursue further, big ideas you might have about further study, the things that you would really love to know some more about. That's the first thing that you really need to think about. And after that, have a think about what it might look like for you in stage 6. So when you're doing your HSC, a little bit of backward mapping can be helpful to think, well, where would I like to be at the end of year 12? And think, what maybe do you need to do to get there? And there's lots of different people you can talk to for some advice, and most of them are sitting down here in the room with you today. So tonight's a really good chance to start some of those conversations. You also might like to think a little bit about careers, the things that will happen after you actually finish school in 2026, and think about the things that might be helpful. But an elective isn't a career choice. An elective is a chance for you to explore lots of different things, and you have an opportunity to try something new as well. So please don't feel limited by any of those kind of suggestions. You have an opportunity here to choose a whole range of different things, and a really diverse kind of pathway can be a really great way to go. So now to a little bit more of the process. From here, you get a chance to have a chat to all of these lovely teachers in the room and to find out more about all of these different subjects that we have on offer. They're very keen to talk to you and to tell you why they love teaching their subjects. So what we'll have then, Year 8, is you will get an expression of interest form, and you need to fill that in for us by the end of week 7. So Friday of week 7, that one comes back to us. And that helps us to then generate the lines and to figure out the best pattern for our current group of students. So we'll take into consideration at that point the things that you would really like to do to give you the best possible chance to choose some electives that you really like the look of. So we'll have those options available to you in early term 4, and then we'll send you a final form where you make your selection about the 3 different electives that you will be choosing for next year when you head into stage 5. You can always change your mind in that early stage as well. So you've got plenty of time to think about this and to make some good decisions. You can even start an elective if you need to at the beginning of next year. And then if you perhaps figure out that it's not quite the right one for you, we've got an opportunity for you to make an early change as well. So with all of that in mind, you've got quite a few things to think about, Year 8, and to talk about with your parents and with all of these teachers here in the room this evening. Mrs. Taylor, anything else you would like to say before we begin our subject stalls? So at this point, if you have any questions, I think there is a microphone going upstairs now with Miss Chu. And if you have any burning questions already, ones that you would like to ask the whole group, she's running up the stairs. Yes, absolutely. So we also have done in our subject stalls Mrs. Amanda Burney, who's here to talk about Duke of Ed, because it's often a rite of passage for our Year 9 students to embark on this program. And she's got a lot more information there about the Duke of Ed program that you can talk about, and there'll be lots more information about that coming out in the next little while. Do we have any questions from the floor? Year 8, you're usually a group that have many, many questions. Yes, many questions. This is the quietest I think I've seen Year 8 this year. Yes, they're laughing because it's true. So if we don't have any burning questions at the moment that you'd like to ask the entire group, what we'd like to do is to invite you to make your way downstairs and come down and speak to our teachers here at our subject stalls. Thank you. Come on down.